Criminal court.
Now let's look at a criminal court case. Remember, a criminal action means that a person has violated the law against the community. Examples of criminal actions include assault, robbery, rape, drugs, and murder.
All rise. You may be seated. Your Honor, I am the attorney for the state. This case is the state versus the defendant, Robert Peterson. The defendant is charged with reckless driving which caused property damage to a parked car. On September 25th, while he was driving a car, the defendant swerved into a parked car. When the defendant drove and hit the parked car, the accident was witnessed. The parked car is owned by Bill Mitchell. Despite hitting the parked car, the defendant did not stop the car but left the scene. Police investigated the accident and found out that the driver was the defendant, Robert Peterson. The police later arrested the defendant. The defendant cooperated with the police. At this time, we ask the court to find the defendant guilty of reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident. For punishment, we ask the court to order that he pay a fine of $5,000. Mr. Robert Peterson, defendant, to the two charges of reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Your Honor, my name is Susan Stone. I represent the defendant, Robert Peterson. Mr. Peterson pleads guilty for both charges.
Let the record show that defendant Robert Peterson has made pleas of guilty on both charges, reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident. Now, Mr. Peterson, has your lawyer advised you of your rights? Yes. Do you understand your rights? Yes. Have you and your lawyer discussed your rights and options? Yes. Is there anything that you would like to state for the record, Mr. Peterson?
Your Honor, I would like to ask for leniency in sentencing of Mr. Peterson for a few reasons that I would like to present.
Does the prosecutor have any objections? The state has no objections, Your Honor. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client, Robert Peterson, was unaware at the time that he had hit a parked car while he was driving his car. The reason he did not know this was because a child was playing with a ball, and the ball bounced into the street, and this distracted him. Mr. Peterson knew this was a neighborhood with many families and children, so he was driving slowly. When Mr. Peterson was distracted and driving slowly, his car hit Mr. Mitchell's parked car. But Mr. Peterson did not feel any impact. Mr. Peterson is deaf and did not hear the impact. Because he did not realize there was an accident, he drove home. When he arrived home, he started unloading groceries from the rear of the car and did not notice the damage to the side of his car. He first found out about the damage in an accident when the police arrived at his house and told him. I would like to also inform the court that Mr. Peterson has always been a very careful driver. He has been driving for more than 50 years, and in that time has not had any tickets, no speeding ticket or any other kind of ticket. For these reasons, I feel the court should be lenient. Mr. Peterson has valid insurance coverage, and his coverage will resolve all damages to Mr. Mitchell's car. What you just saw was an example of a criminal case.